Awesome Writer here. Welcome to my next Toku theme song ranking. So I started this series with the Kamen Rider one, where I ranked all the modern series. You know, modern, it sounds funny for the year 2000, but you know, Heisei through Reiwa. And I said in that video I'd like to do others like Sentai, but I wasn't sure how to break it up. And as you can tell by this video, I decided to break it up by era. Starting with Reiwa is kind of a little taste because it's so easy to do, and I'm fairly familiar with them. And it gives me a little bit time to work on the other one, because I want to have time to add the others to my playlist and listen and re-listen to them. So in between this video and the next Sentai one, there will be a Power Rangers ranking for all the theme songs, because that one's very easy to do since I'm way more familiar with that, and I don't feel the need to listen to them multiple times and have them as part of my playlist for a while. I mean, I kind of already do, but you know what I mean. So we're going to start with Reiwa, and then after we do PR, we'll probably just work backwards and do Showa and Heisei. Heisei actually works out really well, I think, because there's only like, I think, 2 series before Jetman, so it almost evenly makes the bracket of like when PR started with Zyuranger to present, so I kind of like that, and that just makes it easy, and then you don't have one super long video. Maybe I'll like put a super cut together at one point, but it just makes the workload a little bit easier for everybody involved. And by everybody involved, I just mean me. But anyway, let's get started. So coming in at the bottom of the list is Zen Hyer. This is probably the only one I don't really care for on this list. Like, I wouldn't say I hate it, but it's probably the only one I would take off my playlist. Not because I would turn it on and be like, oh my god, get it away from me, but I don't know. I liked it alright. I think it fits the series very well, but it just is obnoxious to me a little bit. Like, I feel like that sounds harsh, but I don't mean obnoxious in the sense, again, that I absolutely despise it, but I don't know. I just find it kind of annoying personally, even though I do find it fitting for the series. After that is Kiramager. This is an interesting one, because I do like this one. Like, from here on out, I like all of these. I wouldn't delete any of these off my playlist. The thing about Kiramager, though, is it is one I listened to a little more often when the series was airing, and I remember liking it more than I did. Like, I listened, this brings up a couple questions. I got a couple questions on the last video of, are you listening to the full versions or the TV size? And are you also ranking, like, the sequence, like, in terms of, like, watching it? I'm not really ranking the sequence. I might bring it up if it's relevant to what I'm talking about, but I'm just ranking the song. And the answer to like the TV size and the long, it's both, just in the sense that when I start these lists, I usually listen to the TV size versions first and write down like a tentative list, and then add the full size versions to my playlist and just kind of casually listen to them, and then that will influence it. Like, that influenced Rider quite a bit. There was a few that shifted around after I got a chance to be more familiar with the full songs. But anyway, the point of that is I remember liking Kiramager more than this, because I did listen to it more often than not when I watched the show, and then listening to the full version, not that it was bad or anything, but I just didn't like it as much as I thought I did, and it felt to me both kind of clunky and forgettable for some reason. Like, I don't know, it felt disjointed, and I feel like I couldn't hold on to the song in my head. And then out of curiosity, I watched the opening theme, just like, you know, the TV size version, obviously, with the visuals, and I liked it more with the visuals. So I still like this theme. It's not one I'm going to kick out of my playlist, but for whatever reason, I enjoy it most when I'm listening to the TV size version and watching it with the visuals. Wouldn't say that the long version is bad or anything, it's just weird. I don't know, I thought that was kind of interesting. After that is Dawn Brothers. I really like the Dawn Brothers one. I feel like it fits the energy of the series well, just like the Zen Hyer one, and I could see it maybe being annoying to people, but for whatever reason, the Dawn Brothers, I just said Dodo, I don't know, anyway, you know what I mean. It's very catchy, and it works for me, and it's the kind of catchy that's not annoying, and I think that I feel like I'm very juvenile when it comes to my Toku music taste, or at least in my reviews, because a lot of the times I rely on the word catchy and like it being catchy, but I think that that makes it memorable for me, and I think that's something to latch onto for me too, is because it's not in my native language, if it has something catchy and memorable, it makes it easier for me to get into the song, and I might appreciate more of it later. But this one is catchy and memorable, and I do like it, and it doesn't annoy me. Coming in at the runner-up slot is Kiramager. Now, this is funny because I didn't really remember the Kiramager theme. I don't remember listening to it all that much. I was curious where it would rank because Kiramager is my personal favorite Reiwa Era series, and I was like, will it end up being a favorite because I like the series, or will it be lower? Like, will it reflect my opinion of the show? And what I found interesting about it is it did kind of. Like, I listened to it and I wouldn't call it as catchy and memorable as something like Dawn Brothers or even Zen Hyer, but it's a really solid, classic feeling Sentai theme. And I've listened to it quite a bit. It's looped around on my playlist because I just have it on shuffle all the time, and my music taste is like all over the place. It's just hilarious. Anyway, regardless, what was I saying? Oh yes, music. The Halloween theme is iconic. No, not that music. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yes! Oh yes! It's come up more often than not, and I've grown to like it more and more every time I listen to it, and it really does reflect how I feel about the series overall. Like, Kiramager is one of my favorite series, period, because it really took me back to that feel of Sentai when I first got into it. You know, both Sentai and Rider have changed a bit in tone and presentation since I got into it around Geki Ranger Kiva. Now, I think Rider has had much more of a distinct contrast. If you go watch something like Kiva or Kabuto or Blade or whatever, and then watch an episode of Gav or Gotchard or even something like Forze, you can feel the difference in it becoming a little more Sentai-like, a little more poppy, and I do miss that mood. With Sentai, it's a little less noticeable because they still have the general formula, but there definitely was, in my opinion at least, maybe it's just my nostalgia, a certain tone to series like Geki Ranger, Deca Ranger, Magi Ranger, Bokanger of that era. And Kiramager very much evoked that, and its theme song very much evoked that too. Like, it felt like a theme of that time. So I think it lined up with my, like, endearment of Kiramager, and I really liked that about it. I think it's interesting that there are some themes that will very much line up with the vibe I have about the series in general in terms of how I feel about it, and this is one of them. But for me, number one, as you can tell, is the Halloween theme. No, but that would be above all these, to be honest with you. Regardless, though, it's BoonBoomger. BoonBoomger is just a really fun one. Oh my god, the timing of that. That's my text tone. That's amazing. I didn't plan that, guys. What does it say? Who dare you? You cannot speak to Jackie Chan. We are filming right now. Anyway, number one is BoonBoomger. I still can't believe that happened. I really like the BoonBoomger theme. I think it's a great mix of feeling like light and catchy and memorable, but also has kind of a little bit of that classic core Sentai theme feel. And I always think of the movie Here Comes the Boom when I hear it. Even though I've never seen that movie, I know it, and I know it mainly from an Impractical Jokers bit, but regardless, I just really like this theme. I very rarely skip it, which is pretty rare for me. Catchy, memorable, but also has that kind of almost core classic feel like Kiramager a bit. But that is just my list. Let me know what your guys' ranking is of the Reiwa themes in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out. I also like how I said as always, as if I always ask you to leave your ranking of the Reiwa themes. Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kamen Rider Gav. Leave your ranking of the Reiwa themes for Sentai below.